Ready? Hello and welcome to Q Today. I'm Nate Bello. I'm filling in for Ellison Duddy, and Ellison is back, but she's taken a couple days to get acclimatized from her wonderful trip back to Thunder Bay, and we'll be telling you a bit about her trip and a little bit later in the show.
Hi, I'm Mitch Vick. I'm your other host, and I think it's turning into a permanent gig here as Ron has taken a hiatus for the season. So I'm happy to step in and do my bit, and I want to thank Ron for his contributions and his rumblings, and I'm sure we're going to hear from him on the rumble side of things.
Ron's good at rumbling.
He's a rumbler, yeah.
Okay, as you know, our weekday show goes from Tuesday at 5 p.m. till Friday at 8 a.m. and our weekend show, Friday at 5 p.m. to Tuesday at 8 a.m. We're on every day, 8 a.m., 5 p.m., and 10 p.m., and we're also on qcatv.ca.
And please, folks, remember you can reach us at our email, which is qtoday@qcatv.ca. And also remember that we get a lot of our stories from the Caribou Quesnel Observer, and we do thank them for that. And basically, if you have some ideas or some stories that you think we should be following, give us a shout at the email, or you can give Nate a call at 992-3650.
And you know, I just had a meeting with Annie and Tracy at the Observer the other day, and we're just trying to cement our partnership even more, and who knows, we might get a column or something like that, or say, you know, give people an idea of what's on Q Today just a little bit ahead. So we're really looking forward to keeping that partnership going.
Yeah, it's a great partnership.
Okay, we just give you the highlights here, of course, and if you want to know more, you just pick up the aforementioned Quesnel Caribou Observer. Okay, Mitch, what's up first?
First story, and before I begin, I want to tell you this has a happy ending, so no one has to panic. Made the front page of the Observer, and this is a story about a gentleman, 51-year-old man, who went kayaking. He left at White's Landing, which is near Dunkley, on Saturday morning, and he told his friends and family that he'd be arriving by the evening in Quesnel, or that afternoon. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. At 8 p.m., the RCMP were contacted by some of his friends to say he had not arrived. So immediately the RCMP were aware of the situation, and the next morning they sent out a team on Sunday to try and find out his whereabouts. And sure enough, they found him along the route, along the river. Search and rescue had determined that he'd come across some pretty serious ice flows as big as small cars, as indicated in the article. They gave him some feedback on how to cross the river safely. And as soon as he made contact with Search and Rescue, he explained how he had to spend the night on the riverbank. Luckily, he had brought survival gear and food. He was prepared, which is part of the lesson of the story. If you're going out on an adventure like this, go prepared. Basically, the kayaker had misjudged the distance. It was further than he thought, and he didn't plan for any ice flows, such as was described. And the RCMP remind us in this story that when you're going for this kind of adventure, going into the backcountry, always carry emergency supplies for sure. Be aware that your cell phone will probably not work where you want to go in the backcountry. And they also recommend some kind of GPS tracking device, which I've used one before myself. It's called the Spot. You can buy them at many outfitter stores. It's a great little gizmo. If you run into trouble, you push a button, sends a signal, and then loved ones and the authorities can try and help you. So,
I wish I had one of those in 1982. I was marooned out in Rivers Inlet. A big storm came up. Rivers Inlet is south of Bella Coola, the next inlet down. And it was November. It was a Christmas run we were doing to try to send things out to my parents in 1981. And God, we were, the winds came up. I was in the middle of nowhere with a student of mine, but no GPS. So I feel for that guy, but happy ending.
Happy ending because you're here with us today, so it's all good.
Okay. There was another article that that's interesting about why shouldn't homeowners burn yard waste. Okay, when I first came to Quesnel in around 1986, a few years after that other story, used to go out and on the city street, people would torch their lawns. I know you're from the city, right?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so that probably didn't happen there, but it happened here. And the idea was then your lawn's nice and green. So you'd be driving down the road and you'd have these big plumes of smoke everywhere. It's ridiculous. But then, luckily, there were some smart lawmakers at that time, and they banned city fires inside the city limits, okay? You still can burn outside the city limits, but you can't burn inside. You can have a little thing to have hot dogs on, but that's another story.
Yeah.
Okay, why not? Because it creates air pollution, okay? And air pollution gives all this particulate matter, that's what you call it, which gets you right inside your lungs, and it's not good for you, Mitch, so don't do it. Don't do it. So there's other options. You can have composting.
Yep.
And there's a little display down on the Riverfront Trail about composting, but it's something that really adds nutrients to your soil. Or you could bring them to the you could bring your stuff to the landfill, and they take it all, and they do a massive composting there.
Yep.
For people that don't live inside the city, if you really, really have the urge to be a pyrotechnical guy, you can burn. But you should watch out for the inversion problems, and as you know, the last couple of days we had smoke advisory, so that you couldn't do it then. Make sure you don't put in the toxic stuff like plastics and tires and all that stuff, and make sure it's dry, so then there's less smoke. There's some other articles that were written in this story, and if people want to know more, contact Quesnel Air Quality Roundtable. Peter Walsh is the new chair, and they're at the Nature Education and Resource Center, 992-5833. So don't burn your yard waste.
Thank you, Nate. So next story we have here is someone by the name of Karen Holmes. And I know Karen, she's a customer of mine at my store. She comes in, wonderful lady, and she is now a certified clinical hypnotherapist. So we're wondering what that is. And basically, she has taken the self-improvement field to the next level. She used to do self-improvement and help people discover their inner selves and do better in life and have good strategies. She's now taken another step here. And basically, she has this schedule with her clients. She's seeing results, relaxation. It's not about doing tricks on stage. That's another kind of hypnotherapy.
Okay, yep.
This is about relaxing and finding yourself and accessing your subconscious that way. Basically, Holmes has found a accredited school in Surrey. She took a course through there, and that went very well. Holmes to show clients the hypnotherapy is nothing like stage hypnotism. It's very clear to make that distinction. Mm-hmm. And I quote her, she says, "I found that when I came back from my course and started talking to people about it, they didn't really have a lot of knowledge about it. So part of her mission here is I would say, is education, to get people to understand that this is a way to relax and basically take your time and have some thoughts that are deeper down." Mm-hmm. She added, most people think of hypnotism as strictly stage and don't realize that there's a clinical counterpart to it. And that's what she's focusing on. And she is, her focus really is tapping into your subconscious mind.
Okay, well, whenever I find my subconscious mind, I shall tap into it.
Well, I can tell you, I have a little experience with the field she's in, with this kind of hypnosis, and my wife Tammy has had this experience, and I can tell you that very relaxing, puts you in a state where you're melting, you're feeling yourself, and in a good way, of course, where you're so relaxed that it's like you feel like you're gently melting, mm-hmm. and it really allows you to relax and explore thoughts that are deep down, and anyway, great experience.
And so they say, though, you always have control over it. It's not like you're being taken away by some other Lex Luthor or something like that.
No, it's basically Danica, who did the interview. Mm-hmm. She underwent the same hypnosis, and she said she had full control. There mm-hmm. was no one telling her to quack like a duck or anything crazy like that. This was in full control. Yeah, not quite. But anyway,
for more information,
please call. She can be reached at 925-0084. And again, that's Karen Holmes, certified hypnotherapist.
Okay, small business in action. Okay, did you like science as a kid in school?
I like biology, but that's about it.
Okay.
Not too good at the chemistry or anything.
Okay, well, you're right. That's what we're going to talk about. Organic chemistry lights his fire. Annie Gallant did a really nice story. She sat down with Dr. Mark McLaughlin. And Mark went to school here, went to Coraloo, went to Red Bluff Elementary, and he recently won a Stacy, that's I think it's how you pronounce it, or Stacy, Memorial Fellowship worth $250,000.
Holy smokes.
And this is a Quesnel kid done good story. He's using the money on an iridescent glass film project. What's that, you may ask? Annie, I will tell you, I have no idea. Annie did a stab at it, but I didn't come away with really an understanding of what it was, because Annie basically talked on a more personal level with Mark. And this famous doctor, he's up there now. He's from Quesnel, and she asked him, well, how did it all get started? Basically, grade 3, Mrs. Murray, Red Bluff Elementary. Congratulations, Mrs. Murray. You did some little science experiment, and he just took it from there. And then it went on through high school. And if anybody knows Case DeVries, he's a card, but he was English teacher at Maple Drive, and I think he was at Coraloo. I forgot exactly where. But he really is a wonderful guy, and Mark called him his most inspirational teacher. And he's an English teacher, even though Mark's in science, because most of science is really reading and writing and thinking, and English really goes along with that.
Yeah.
So it just shows you how much teachers have influence over your lives, and how you could think back to your really good teacher. Do you have a favorite teacher?
I do. Mrs. Justice, grade 1. Long way back, but it's amazing how one teacher can make an impact. Anyway.
Yeah, and Sister Felicitas of Our Lady of Pompeii, Syracuse, New York. If you're watching, she was an inspiration to me.
Oh.
She'd be about 125 now.
I see.
So.
Yeah.
But anyway, congratulations, Dr. Mark McLaughlin.
So next we have a story. We're going to talk about a new program to make, what are we talking here? Child-friendly designation coming to Quesnel.
Yeah.
And what that is a program started by the United Way and the Ministry of Children and Family Development. It's administered locally by the Quesnel Child, Youth and Family Network. So what does this designation mean? Well, it's really it's beneficial for businesses to get on board with this designation. And there's not a lot of steps you need to take to be certified. Basically, for young people, for children, you need to have good signage for your washroom in your place of business or organization, so children can easily get into your washroom. Obviously, you want to have a step stool or a sink that's installed at the level of a child, and if that's not possible, then a good sturdy step stool. If you have a play area in your business, like many banks have a little nook for with books and toys for children to use while they're waiting. Same with doctors' offices. So make sure that you're equipping your child area with safe toys and books and whatnot. They also recommend, maybe if you can do it, little giveaways, little things like stickers or balloons or maybe a toothbrush, things that kids might like to grab when they're in your place of business. And then obviously the benefits for business owners to get on board with this program is obviously families who can spend more time in your business or your organization. They feel they can spend more time and they're not as rushed. And obviously from a business perspective, people who spend more time in your business, they tend to spend a little bit more money. So there's definitely a benefit for business owners who can get on board with this. I definitely invite you to get more information on this program and becoming certified, certified for this. You can contact Selena Weirs, and she's our local contact in Quesnel. She can be reached at 250-991-2821, and we'll also have her email on your screen, and it's bearman@telus.net.
Sounds like a great idea. Do you know that we were designated about 5 or 10 years ago, as a baby-friendly community?
Oh.
One of the first in British Columbia to be done. The hospital went through a whole bunch of accreditation procedures and Quesnel became designated as a baby-friendly community. Now let's be child-friendly.
Let's be child-friendly, yeah.
Okay, good. Pretty soon they'll get into old age friendly people.
We got to get there for sure, yeah.
I was going to say something else, but I'll say old age. Okay. Okay, now on to sports.
Sports.
Okay, local boxers' first bout as success. I'm talking about Kyle Tessier and the Observer. They've run an article about him. He took his first bout. He got into the ring.
A ring, yes.
Yes, not the ring. Into the ring and won his first bout under the mentorship of Wally Dorn, who a lot of people know in Quesnel know as a great mentor to a lot of young people with his Two Rivers Boxing Club. Well, Kyle says that it was great. He managed to TKO William Charlie of Boston Bar. TKO, technical knockout. How did he do it? Focus and determination. Just like you and us with this show.
Not a
right?
hard punch?
Not a hard. Well, what happened was he basically kept his cool. Wally Dorn says that, well, most people in their first bout, they get into survival mode. Let's just whatever. Let me stop me from being hurt. But Kyle really relaxed and felt, let me do this methodical, and he just kept on, and he won the match. And in the third round, it's because of his conditioning that he was able to keep it up. And that's where he says he's going to concentrate on keeping strong conditioning. He said he enjoyed the fight. He's got a growing affection for the sport, and he takes plans to go have many more bouts.
That's excellent.
Yeah, Rumble number 16 will be put on in Quesnel. It doesn't have the location. They have been at the senior center, but they also were at the Bushy Lake. I guess we'll have to get more information. May 5th.
Okay.
And maybe you don't know Wally yet, but Wally's.
I do actually.
Oh, you do know?
I do know
Wally.
Wally.
Wally comes into your store.
Yeah, no. My son was in Two Rivers Boxing Club for a little while there, and dabbled in that and had a good time. Very. The endurance required. It's not all about the punching and the fighting aspect. This is, like you said, it's conditioning and endurance. And wow, taught my son quite a bit.
And Wally really helped a lot of the students that I had when I was principal of McNaughton Center, the alternate school in town. Gave them a lot of self-confidence. And so congratulations, Wally, and congratulations to Kyle.
Awesome. So continuing with our sports theme here, basically, the Roos had a little bit of a disappointing finish to the season, but we do thank them for their efforts, and I know they'll be back stronger next year. But we actually had a real victory in hockey. The Bantam Thunder of Quesnel made us proud with their recent come-from-behind victory. They were playing they won over Terrace at the Tier 3 Championship in Burnaby. And this was an amazing game to read about. They were down 5-1. And hockey fans out there will know, being down 5-1 in the first couple minutes of the third period, wow, that's pretty tough. That's a tough situation to be in. But in reading this article, the key here was the coach rallying his troops. They went into the second period break, and they had a good chat. And then wouldn't you know it, they come into the third period very strong. We got to make mention of Jesse Roach. He scored first in the third. He scored 2 more goals, got the hat trick within 3 shifts. So on the ice scores, on the ice scores, on the ice scores, 3 shifts. Amazing, amazing work. And then, of course, they battled and battled, tied it up at 5. And then, of course, 3 minutes left to play. They clinch it there. Keith Redden splits the defense, scores the goal. They win the game. They win the championship. And then, of course, Brian Kozak felt they dominated. Back to your story, is because of conditioning. They were ready. They were prepared. They were mentally prepared, physically prepared, and they won. And they had a 6-1 record in the tournament, which is why they're the champions.
Congratulations.
So congratulations to the Bantam Thunder team from Quesnel.
Yeah, that's really fantastic.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And I remember Ron Campbell said on a show a couple times ago, just going in there and seeing that age group play, you see a lot of talent.
Oh, and passion.
Yeah.
There's so much passion at that level, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we have one more little sports story, and this has to do with our colleague, Allison Duddy.
Oh, yes.
As I said, is back, but she's taking a couple of days to recoup, and then she'll be back next week. And so she had a wonderful time in Thunder Bay at the National Wheelchair Curling Championships. And I'm going to read out her little email to us so that I get everything exactly right. Allison says, I wish I could say we brought home gold, but unfortunately the week didn't go so well curling-wise. They finished with a 3-6 record, which landed us in 8th place. 3 games against strong teams, Alberta, Manitoba, and Ontario, could have gone either way. Saskatchewan were the eventual Canadian champs against Alberta in a game that went into an extra end. And it was a special moment to be there as all the athletes, volunteers, organizers sang happy birthday to the winning skip. Darwin Bender was the winning skip, and he was they sang happy birthday after he was awarded his gold medal. She says, I had a great time catching up with friends from past nationals and getting to know the new ones from new teams that participated. All in all, a great experience, and I look forward to showing you, that's all of us, some of the pictures when I get back next week. And she'll be back with us next Tuesday, April the 3rd.
I'll look forward to hearing a little more on that. And
yeah, get some pictures up on.
Sounds like she had a good time. So that's
she had a great time, and she's an excellent curler.
Excellent.
Okay.
So Charlene Van Conat is back, and she's going to talk to us today about, she's on location at the Quesnel Métis Association, and we're going to learn about some of the programs at that organization. So let's take a look.
Thank you, Nate. Yeah, today I am here at the new location for the North Cariboo Métis Association, and I have Tony Goulet with me, and he is the president of the Métis Association, and he wears a few other hats in the community, and I'm just thinking you can describe what those look like if you would do that, and tell us a little bit about the Métis Association.
Sure.
And so actually, welcome, Tony.
Well, thank you. And thank you. As Charlene said, I wear many different hats. I am a school board trustee. I've been doing that for, this will be 9 years, so 3 terms. I do own my own business. I do 2 businesses, actually. I deliver Old Dutch potato chips, and I deliver Wonder Bread as well. So very active in the community. I have lots of different committees that I sit on. If I named them all, we'd probably be here for a while. But
Okay. So we're here today just to talk a little bit about what the Métis Association does in the community. I know that you are a nonprofit society as well as a registered society. What does that mean?
Yeah, the North Cariboo Métis is a nonprofit society, and we have what we call qcatv, which is a registered charity society. And qcatv actually can be able to go after different funding sources, so we won't rely on government funding. We can go outside of government funding. We can go to foundations, private businesses, private donors, so we can access funds that way to keep our organization going. The North Cariboo Métis has been around since about 1991, and it has like over 1,000 members. About 1,050, I think, is the last count.
Is that all through BC? Or
No, that's just Quesnel.
In Quesnel?
Just Quesnel alone.
Wow.
And we are part of the provincial organization, and we have a charter with them, which allows us to get some funding and access some programs through them. So.
Oh, great. So what kind of programs do you offer?
Well, we run a support worker program, which Rhonda does that for us, and she's really wonderful in the job. She does a lot of extra work and a lot of things outside of her job duties. She's mostly an advocate. She does mostly works with Métis and Aboriginal families and refers them to different agencies, different organizations. So we do a lot of work with the organizations, like a lot of different organizations that we have partnerships with and local agreements with. So.
Oh, great. So you have a bingo as well.
Yes.
You get to do the bingo thing here in our community, which is I know that when you were moving, you were shut down for a little bit about bingo, and I definitely heard about that. They really missed it.
That. Yeah.
So what do you do? What does the bingo do for the community?
Well, it brings funding in for scholarships. We offer 2 bursaries and scholarships for grade 12 kids to apply for.
Wow,
and they have to be Métis is one of the criteria. And we also help with the free store. It helps fund what we call the free store, which needs funding, which is totally underfunded, but that helps out quite a bit, and it helps with dancing. We've had our family camps, what the money goes for. So We also share that with the Rotary, who has
Okay.
bingos in here as well. And we have bingos second Friday of every month and the last Friday of every month.
So
and
it's
of course today we have a bingo tonight. So
And so it sounds like you do a lot of partnering in the
We do.
community.
we do. We have
Great.
different organizations such as CNC, which we do some stuff through there, some training and local stuff. And then we have the Big Brothers, the Amata Transition House, the who else have we got in there? We've got the Amata, the CNC, the Transition House. We work with different lawyers and different nonprofit organizations. So we have a
Great.
lot of good community partners. So
Well, I have a question for you, because when I first came to Quesnel 9 years ago, and I heard that there was the Métis Association, I never understood that. And then when I got to know the agency and of course the people who work within it, I still wonder, what is Métis? What does Métis mean? And I'm thinking, if I'm asking that question, maybe there's somebody out there else, who needs that answer as well. So what is Métis, and are Métis people recognized?
yeah, that's a good question. Thank you, Charlene. Yeah, I get that all the time too. What's a Métis? Métis is really hard to define. If you look under the dictionary, it means person of mixed blood. So a Métis could be anybody who has two different backgrounds. It doesn't have to be specifically Aboriginal, doesn't have to be in that, but the general Métis comes from the Red River, and they have a lot of Aboriginal, or mostly Aboriginal blood within them. And it's mostly the European and some Aboriginal ancestry of some type. Métis didn't actually come about. It's been around for like 125 years. Last year we celebrated 125 years of Métis back in, they did it in Batoche and Saskatchewan. They had big celebrations, and we had an open house a year ago where we gave out brochures and said this is what we do. But we get a lot of people, what is Métis? Some people think Métis is just coming about, I think, in the 80s when they changed the Constitution, Section 35, to include Métis within Aboriginal. So now when you look at it, it says Aboriginal people are Métis, Inuit, and First Nations
Right.
descent. So it wasn't like until the 80s that they actually started to come up with
Recognize.
Métis. Yeah, we were sort of a lost people, and that's what the history tells us, is Métis are the lost people. And we sort of wander around and move about, and there's, the last count they had, just BC wide, I think, was over 50,000 have claimed to be Métis. So
Right.
the numbers are huge.
So for Métis peoples, is there a status or anything that they need to, and would they be able to access this agency to come and look up their history, their generational background? Is this
Oh, yeah.
someplace where
Yep.
they can come and do that?
Well, this is our new office here at 668 Doherty Drive, so they can come in here anytime, and we have application forms. We have a provincial card through the Métis Nation in British Columbia, which they can apply for. And it takes a while. There's a long process just because they check the genealogy. Like because what's happening is they find a lot of people come in and say, I'm Métis, but they might actually fill a gap on somebody's genealogy that doesn't have it because they've got different names, different genealogy and different things that they can put forward. And they can come in anytime and pick up an application. They are available online on the provincial website. I think if you do mnbc.ca.bc, I believe that's the website, you can go off there and download them as well. But you can bring them into here, and we'll help you fill them out and fill in any missing gaps. So.
Great, that's good to know. So is there anything else that you think we should know about the Métis Association in our community?
Sure, we're friendly.
There you
We're
go.
nice.
There you
We're,
go.
We're a great group of people. I mean, the door is always open.
Yeah,
And we have a lot of good people that volunteer and help out with the organization behind the scenes that you don't see as well. So.
that's right.
And we always have lots of memories and lots of good times. We actually have a potluck coming up on Sunday, April 1st, and we'll have a potluck and then sort of a general meeting to update whoever wants to know what we've been doing for the last 6 months.
And the
a year.
community is invited?
And the community can come out. We We always have an open door policy.
So depending when this is aired, if before, then you are welcome to be here on Sunday, April 1st.
Perfect.
Great. Well, thank you, Tony. It was great having you here today.
Well, thank you. I just have some dates, just some things that we
Okay.
can think about that are coming up here. I've got May 15th, we have a network fair. It's for service providers and health groups. That's open to the public, and it'll probably be upstairs in this building here. And there'll be different service providers there, different organizations that will be part of it. And you can come and try different booths, try different things. I think one time we had it, when we had it at the old place, a foot massage, so you can get your feet massaged and your and stuff like that. So we also have a will and estates workshop, which we are just working on the date, but you might see that advertised out in the poster or out about town.
So we'll be looking for that.
Yep. And we have a dance group, which is sort of starting up again. We had them going for a bit, but they kind of come and go, so
Great.
they're starting up again. They're ready to go.
Okay. So anything else then? Are you sure we got that?
So. I
Everything?
think we
Great.
covered.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for
It's
having
been
me.
great, and he is absolutely telling the goods when they are a friendly bunch of people that work in this agency, because I seem to be here a lot. So thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Charlene. That's fantastic. And now let's take a couple minutes and look at our community calendar. Fantastic. That's our show for today, folks. Thank you very much. Remember, you can contact us at our new email at qtoday@qcatv.ca if you have any news stories that you'd like to bring to our attention. We definitely look forward to those tips and ideas. Also, if you'd like to be a sponsor or volunteer for our show, please give us a call. You can reach us at the station, or you can give Nate a call. And those numbers, Nate, 992-3650, or give John McKenzie a shout at the station, 992-8363.
Okay, as you said, QMag is producer of Q Today, and QMag is Quesnel Media Access Group, and people can join us. They could be part of a movement here in Quesnel, getting the conversation of Quesnel talking to Quesnel.
Yes.
So, thanks a lot. It was good working with you.
Yeah, thanks, Nate. It was awesome.
Yeah. Bye for now.